What do you know about Ricky Gervais?
Well, he was a musician at one time.
Yes.
And I'm grateful he no longer is.
In a band.
Yeah, apparently he had a band. I don't remember what his instrument.
Yeah, a guitar. I remember him playing guitar and writing original music for The Office, which is where we came to know him, the original British BBC Office. And it was very difficult to find in those days. You almost had to know somebody who had an illegal box that you could patch into. And then if you had somebody like hire a high school kid to watch 24 hours a day and call you when it showed up, you'd race over to see The Office. And delightful and delightful. We couldn't wait to have him on the program, and he never disappointed. And I don't know how many times he was on the show, but I think each visit was memorable.
His take on current events or anything he talked about
yes.
was absolutely fresh to us Americans, because what do we know?
Brand new.
But he brought,
brand new to us. I don't know that he was the first to feature this character in this context, but he certainly was, for my money, the best.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, tell us a little bit about your background and what you've done with yourself heretofore, and how you came up with the idea for the character and the show and so forth.
Wow. My background, I suppose I just had a normal sort of working class upbringing in a town just outside London. My dad was a labourer, and Mum was a housewife, and I got what you'd call a scholarship to go to university. So sort of and it's funny actually, because I went to university to do biology. And I changed after a couple of weeks because there were 9 o'clock lectures.
Yeah.
And so I did philosophy 7 hours a week. So, and my mum was very proud, though, that I got to university. And when I was there in my 3rd year, I actually got into music. And I got a record deal and a publishing contract as a singer-songwriter. And I went home one day and I broke it to my mum that I wasn't going to follow the academic route. And she was disappointed. And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because I want to be a pop star." She said, "Pop star is another word for junkie." She was so, and I actually said, "Well, it's a really good deal. The record deal's worth about £100,000." And she didn't drop a beat. She said, "Mick Jagger bought his mum a house in Wales."
Good for Mom.
Yeah.
Did that change your life? All of a sudden, you go from a guy nobody knows to a guy everybody knows and everybody...
Yeah, well, it was strange, people, because I came from nowhere, because I'd done a normal job, so I suppose the strangest thing was the journalist the first time round asking me sort of questions, and I did everything because I was flattered and I didn't want to sort of appear aloof, and some of them were just banal questions.
What kind of stuff?
Well, there was one I did, and it was like those fluff pieces, and they asked you, it's like My London and what you like, and it was stuff like, I remember one journalist said, if your house was on fire and you could only say 3 things, what would they be? And this was towards the end of the interview, it was just so... And I went, my cat, I've got a cat. I said, my salamander, I've got a pet salamander, I was thinking to... And I went, 3? She went, yeah. I said, one of the twins.
Yeah.
And she said, OK. And then a couple of months later, I had an interview with another journalist, and she said, "What are your twins' names?" And I said, "Why did you say?" She said, "Well, you said." I said, "What, you think that I'd save a cat, a salamander, and then one of the twins?" So you've got to be so careful. I learned you've got, they just take your word for it.
Right.
There was a show on British television. I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of it. You think I was out running, wouldn't you? But I do like to lounge and eat cheese and drink beer. And I like sort of like trash TV. And there's this big show every year, and it's called Celebrity Stars and Their Doubles. And you know you've made it when... Well, what it is, it's do you know lookalikes?
Yeah.
People that look like celebrities and they dress up and they come on and they don't do anything. They just say, I'm so-and-so.
Like
exactly,
right.
Yeah, I'm George Clooney or something. And I got one. I got one.
Yeah, well, Ricky Gervais lookalike?
There was a... Well, it was actually a David Brent lookalike. And he won, and it was fantastic. And I thought, all right, just a fat guy. That's all it was. Just a fat guy. He had a goatee. I think he grew that the day before. Just a fat guy. About 200 pounds, about 45. And when he won, he's so fat that he actually waddled like that. He did that fat guy walk. And the host of the show went, "Oh, you even walk like Ricky Gervais."
Oh.
So I'm wearing black tonight. So
Now, have you?
it's slimming, it works.
It really does.
Pavarotti
Yeah.
wears a lot of black, and you see him in like lemon or turquoise, and he's a chunky little fella.
Yeah.
So it does. But I know I'm not worried
Have
about
you ever dieted or had to
No.
people suggest diets to you?
No. Well, I just admit it. I eat too much. You know, you eat more than you burn off. You put on a bit of weight. With these people that make excuses, it's okay to have a bit of, have a bit of, subcuticle layer.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. That's all right. It's we're mammals. We're meant to have that. But it's these people that they say things like, it's glandular.
Oh, yeah.
It's not glandular. It's greed. It's big bones. Yeah, big bones covered in meat and gravy. That's what did it for me.
This is, and if somebody hadn't told me this was you, I would not have recognized you. But this is from an earlier part of your career when you were actually like a pop band. Is that what it was?
A failed pop band.
Failed pop
Yeah.
band. Do you mind if I show this?
No.
Yeah. And tell us who and what we're looking at there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, this guy here,
That's you.
that's me. Look at that.
How old are you in that photo?
20.
Wow.
Shortly after that photo, I ran into the nearest pie shop and said, right, let me eat anything I've been missing for the last... In fact, I think I ate him.
Yeah. And who is that guy there?
That's me.
No, the other guy.
That's the guy in the band. It was just a duo.
Just the two of you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
are you still in touch? Do you still get together? And
No, he doesn't recognise me.
but you actually had a record contract. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but it was one of those things where, we were signed, and I think the record company, we were a tax loss or something, and they signed 20 acts, and they keep the one that makes it. We weren't one of them. We were one of the 19.
But you must have for a while thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to be...
The new Beatles, of course.
Yeah. Now, we have a song. Do you know the name of the song we have here? It's called Siona Dancing. Is that the name of it? Yeah. This is right
That's
here.
actually...
the single is Bitter Heart. That's the name of the single.
This isn't a record cover. This is just my recruitment picture for the Navy. That's just me relaxing.
Yeah. All right, so let's just listen to a little of it. And it's called... Do you mind? It's called Bitter Heart. Here we go, Bitter Heart. Let's just listen here.
Tell them you're free. Tell lies of me.
Remember that?
I'm out of range now, so there's nothing more to fear.
Yeah.
Sing along.
I know we're through. The only thing I want is you.
Yeah.
Beyond ya.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh.
It's kind of that club dark. Let's dance all night and get goofy. And you also got to meet Robert De Niro doing one of these films, right? Which film was that? Is that the one?
It's a film that's coming out, I think, in the summer called Stardust. And, I was offered this part just a couple of days with De Niro.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And it's just like, one scene with him, but, the world's greatest actor and Robert De Niro in the same scene. And I took the part. It's a lovely part, but I took it to meet him and ask him about extras. And I was mucking around, and I realised it was like 7 hours of bravado. Because at the end of the shoot, I went over to him and said, "I think you're the best actor in the world. I've seen you in Goodfellas. Now, do you want to be in extras?" And he went, "I'll call you about that."
Yeah.
I went, He went, "I'll call you about that," and he did.
Oh,
he called. Unbelievable. I said, "I thought I told you never to call." Luckily, he laughed. And he came along and did a bit in extras, and he's amazing. He's just fantastic. So,
Good for
and
you.
I was doing the scene, and Steve's in the scene, and I was sort of directing. And I came over to Steve, and went, "Oh, you might want to do this and that." He went, "Okay, fine." I was walking back to the monitor, and Robert De Niro said, "How about me? Am I doing okay?" And I went, "Sorry." He went, "Am I doing okay?" I went, "Yeah, you're doing okay." What do I say? So sweet.
Do you enjoy cricket?
Yeah, it's a bit slow. It's a bit.
It's like an all-day game, isn't it?
It is. Well, and a lot of standing. I mean, I'd like to play cricket because
Yeah.
it mostly is standing around, but
Sure.
I'd rather play it than watch it.
I always admired the outfits and the equipment. I thought that was pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I like the equipment. It's like padding. It feels so. once when I had to do... There's a piece of equipment in cricket called a box. What do you call it, the protective thing?
What's the purpose?
Yeah. No,
There
what
may
do
be
you-
a different name depending on the purpose.
You call it a box? Or
I don't know. I wouldn't call it a box.
what would you call it?
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, you put it over... What do you think I'm talking about?
I don't know. You keep doing this. And you're telling me you're not here to make friends. I mean, come on. What is that?
Yeah. But
I know what you're talking about.
but I did it on me, not you. That would be the dead giveaway.
knows what
As
was-
long as we just do it on ourselves
Okay,
and not
that's
each
fine.
other,
Well,
then
I've
it's fine.
certainly got plenty of practice there. Now listen.
Well,
It's a cup, I think. A
cup.
Cup, yes.
That's
not,
it, yeah.
not a box.
Well, anyway, when I was about...
It raises questions anatomically.
well,
Box? I don't know. Well, anyway. All right, so you have a...
mine often comes gift wrapped. No, it's... And anyway, so I started karate, and I was about sort of 25, 26, and they said, you have to go and buy a shield. And so I went along to this department store, and I picked I got a cricket one because I didn't know what it was, so I got a cricket one. So I went along, went on karate that night, put it on, and it was pinching me, and so I thought, oh. So I felt brilliant. I thought, this is too small. So I went back to the shop and I was queuing up, and the guy said, can I help you? I said, yeah. I said, I'm not being funny, mate, but I bought this yesterday and it's too small for me. Right? And he said, I'm not surprised, it's a child's one.
Now, this piece of video that we have is from 1983. How old were you in 1983?
22.
22, and right in the thick of the pop music industry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the thick of it.
And what was the name of the group? It was...
Shauna Dancing.
I'm sorry?
You haven't heard of it?
No.
Wow. Get with it, these guys have heard of us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And...
Come on, don't stretch it out.
Do you want to see it or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd want to
let's
see it to
take
get
a
it
look
over
at
with.
1983, let's take a look.
You're losing out now. Let the anger rise in the twisted joys that rage in the bitter heart.
Immediately after that video was shot, I saw a Pizza Hut. I've never looked back.
Never look back. But it's interesting because rarely does a person try one aspect of a career that doesn't work and then goes on to and goes on to great success.
Yeah. Well, I think that getting fat was my fortune, really. Because you couldn't laugh at someone like that because they're too... People... I'd said funny things,
right,
but that I was too unfeasibly handsome. They'd go, I want to laugh, but I feel funny all over.
Yeah,
whereas as I started eating, they started laughing. Well, until today, I walk down the street and people would just laugh and point and, you know,
That's all.
I
Money
don't have
in
to
the
say
bank.
anything.
Now, when you were living with your family, or when you had the brothers and sisters and you were active as a family unit, what was that? Are they funny, your older sisters?
Yeah, I came from a funny family. I think that was the point growing up. You know, it was a sort of typical working class family where you know, if you paid your way, the point was to have a laugh. My older brother was always like at the prankster.
What's his name?
Bob. I remember I'll tell you a story. He's a painter and decorator, and he was painting this weapons research establishment in England. And he was going in there with the guys in his van, and he's always mucking around and showing off and making them laugh. And as he was going in, a policeman came and did the thing, you know, the mirror on a stick, looking under the van,
yeah.
And as he was doing it, his helmet fell off, and 20 cigarettes fell out. And the policeman looked at Bob, just being friendly, and went, I bet you always wonder what we kept under our helmets. And my brother, showing off, went, I knew it wasn't brains.
Oh, my.
Why would he say that? Why would he say that?
Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
Maybe we should try and get Bob on the show. Here, now explain yourself in this form.
Oh, God.
Explain this. What is going on here?
Well,
My goodness.
It's not a club. That's not taken in the toilets of a club. I did some charity boxing. Where'd you get that from? Look at me. Look, Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. And who is the guy?
The body of a hamster. There's a...
Who's the guy?
Well, as you can see, he's a much fitter, more handsome, younger man.
Grant Bovey.
Grant Bovey, yeah. We did celebrity boxing for charity. I don't know why I did it. I said yes, and I never do those things. I say no to everything, and the one thing I said yes to was the worst thing. I mean, why would a fat 40-year-old want to fight? It's ridiculous.
Well,
I don't know.
I was pretty impressed when I saw that because I thought you must know how to take care of yourself or you wouldn't have signed up.
Well, I thought, well, to be quite honest, I thought, I'll have a go. I'm a boxing fan.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet I'm great.
I bet I'm
Yeah. Like, I've never done it before, but I'll probably be like Muhammad Ali. I'll float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I floated like a fish, a dead fish.
How did it go?
I flailed, but I thought my only fear was not that I was going to get hurt by Grant, but that I was actually going to explode. I think the crowd thought if he blows, we're going to get covered in cheese and stuff. I was the most unfit I'd ever been. I think I was 40 years old, and I hadn't, as you know, in my 30s, they were my eating years, and I look great now. But I'd never done the exercise for 10 years, and I thought this is crazy.
Was it 3 rounds, that kind of thing?
3, that's it, yeah.
Whoa,
3 rounds.
Wow. And who won the outcome?
Well, I won on points, but I don't know how they were
Won on
counting it.
points?
Yeah.
Well, nice going.
Thank you.
It's Country Music Week. We're wrapping up
Yes.
Ralph Stanley here tonight. And do they have it in England, country?
We have country music. Yeah, it's not as big, obviously. I was brought up on country music. My mum was a big Jim Reeves fan, and Frank. I like some of it. Yeah, they sort of spill their heart a bit. I like some of the songs, but not the ones that you think's going bad. Then it's all okay. Like I woke up this morning, my dog died. I lost my arms and legs, but let's dance, or you know.
Let's dance.
Thank the Lord for whiskey. It's just.
Yeah.
I tell you, I do like the titles. They have the best titles of songs. There's some, again, they say it as it is. There's one, Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life, right. I like. And there's a lot about women and wives. There's one, I Liked You Better Before I Knew You.
Yeah.
And...
How can I miss you if you won't go away?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my particular favourite, which is a bit rude, I hate every bone in your body except mine.
Well, now here's my beef with you, and then I find out that you become all buddy-buddy with Larry David. Is that true?
He's a friend of mine.
And not only that, you end up going to lunch.
Well, yeah, we went to lunch together in New York when he was in town to do the marriage ref, and we went along there, and the bill comes, and he gets his credit card out, and I go, oh, thank you. And he went, you didn't even go for your pocket.
Yeah.
It was like being on the show. And then I get an email from him last week saying, I'm going to be in London for a day. You owe me a meal. I mean, again, I didn't know it was a contract.
Right, yeah. Well, now let's take this apart
I've
step
got
by
beef
step.
with you as well.
No, you have no beef with me.
Okay,
Listen.
sorry.
So he invites you to dinner. You're a guest in this country, although I know you have a house here in New York. But nonetheless, he should pick it up. That part's fine.
Yeah.
And he should not then anticipate a reciprocity on your part, although I know as a gentleman you will pay for lunch when he comes to
I
London.
definitely will.
But that's not what I even care about.
I
what
will
about
go to
you
a much cheaper restaurant.
No. Hey. What about you and me as buddies? Where did that happen?
You're still, listen, you're still number one.
I feel better. So I'm coming to London, and you put together an
Is this
itinerary.
hypothetical, or you are coming to
We'll
London?
see how it goes. We'll take a look at it on paper.
Okay, right.
And then we'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind with your buddy Stephen Merchant. I
Definitely.
kind of find him interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be good balance.
Yeah. Do you want, anyone else? You want to meet?
No.
Can't? No.
No.
Can Larry come?
No.
Okay. No.
What did you do? I mean, were you said you had no money. Nobody really has college money. Did you have a part-time job? I mean, you had no money, or you had a little?
No, I remember. Okay, I got these awful digs when I first got there, and it was just like one little room.
Digs, apartment.
Apartment, yeah.
Flat.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're bilingual.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
That'll be on WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
So I was down to my last 50 pence, and I needed to do laundry, but I needed to have a bath because I was going out for the water meter. So I decided.
I'm sorry, going out for the what?
To the water meter. I needed a bath because I was going out. What, you go out without showering, I know, but I like to be clean.
No. What the water meter? What do you do with?
We used to have to put 50p in the water meter to heat up the water.
Oh.
And then, you know, because, I mean, this was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think we've had that. It seems primitive. I mean, we have a water meter. I think that on a monthly basis you pay.
well,
It's another cultural difference.
we've come a long way in
I see.
England now.
Yeah.
We've got electric lights and everything now. But there it was just a candle. And,
Yeah.
and so I decided to have the bath, but with all my shirts. Because I thought, So my dilemma, I thought, now, do I wash, like, in soap and water, and that's good for my skin, but my shirts won't be clean, or do I use, like, soap powder, like Daz? And I chose that one, so the shirts, and it was a bit itchy, and so, I remember I was telling this story to a friend, and he went, well, why don't you just have the bath and then put your washing in afterwards?
That's perfect.
No,
No.
it's not.
Not?
Because while I was in there, I could wriggle like a washing machine.
I'd pay to see that. I saw where this Steve Carell, your buddy, is leaving the office.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And there was speculation that maybe you would come back and be yourself again on the show that you created.
No. I get paid for sitting at home doing nothing. So, I want. Why would I actually work for it? That's mad.
You make a good point.
No, Steve's amazing. And he's done an amazing job, and he's done his 7 years. Sounds like a prison sentence, doesn't it? Yeah.
7 years. That's a
7 years.
long
See, that's
time.
7 years on one show every week. If you do more than that, things get stale. People start.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You start resenting even coming to work. You know?
Here are some jokes you told at the Golden Globes, which, by the way, I heard these jokes and I said, I wish I had these jokes.
You were so kind afterwards with all the furore and people saying, oh, he went too far.
Oh, for
I saw
heaven's
your
sakes.
show and it was great, so I love being supported.
Listen to this. It was a big year for 3D movies. It seems like everything this year was three-dimension, except the characters in The Tourist.
Well,
Nothing wrong with that
there's nothing
joke.
wrong with that. And Johnny Depp did. I'm working with Johnny on a new project
Right.
in England now. He said to me, I said, you okay with it? Because I never thought it would get this reaction. I didn't think I did anything wrong. It was
Right,
just,
no.
they were just
No,
jokes.
you did nothing wrong.
I did nothing wrong, and I wouldn't apologise for it.
And Johnny Depp is the first guy who would think that this was funny.
He did. He said he reads worse things about himself every day, and they mean it, and I'm
yeah,
joking.
Yeah. I mean, it's not sainthood we're talking about here. It's
I know.
actors.
I know. Also, exactly. These people are the most privileged, richest people in the world. If you
Right.
can't joke about them, what can you make a joke about?
Exactly.
You know, it's
Thank you.
just...
Except, I will say, except for my personal,
I would never do that.
personal
I
life.
would
No,
never-
leave me.
I would never-
Just leave my personal life out of
Yes,
this.
exactly, yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
everything's fair game.
Yeah, exactly.
Girls from Sex and the City, we know how old you are. I saw one of you in an episode of Bonanza.
Right. No. I understand that...
This is tremendous.
I understand that Kim Cattrall was a bit offended because she said it was an ageist comment. It wasn't. I wasn't talking about their age. I'm saying they look great. I think they look great at any age they are. I was saying why airbrush
you
the
don't
poster.
have to defend this joke.
I'm not defending it.
It's a joke, for
It is a
God's
joke.
sakes.
Yeah.
Do you want to go see Cher? No. Why not? Because it's not 1975. That's why not. It's not 1975.